Hey YouTube, I want you guys to listen to something right quick because I heard this on the radio and I found this clip on YouTube and I heard it on the news. So I don't know if you guys are hearing the same information regarding this swine flu, but let me go ahead and play this for you.
Are not being affected. This is human-to-human contact, so people who either eat pork or are exposed to pigs are not getting this flu. Very unusual, and of course the scientists are very alarmed by the way it's being spread and the speed at which it's being spread.
Let me play that one more time.
This is human-to-human contact, so people who either eat pork or are exposed to pigs are not getting this usual, and of course the scientists are very alarmed by the way it's being spread and the speed at which it's being spread.
Like, what the fuck? They're talking about people like me and some of you guys. I don't eat pork. I haven't ate pork in 18 years, you know, but like I said, I heard this a few times through different sources, but they're not really pushing it, you know, on CNN or anything. But if you eat pork, then you somewhat immune to it, the swine flu. But if you don't eat pork, then the chances are you may end up, you know, getting the flu. And I think when a few people in California first were diagnosed with the swine flu, was my first time hearing that they don't eat pork. And I kind of heard it, but it just went over my head. But like I said, I just found this video on YouTube, which I'm going to put it onto the link so you guys can check it out yourself. It's a short video, but I just thought that was interesting that someone had went into the lab and made this this flu, and it really affects those who really don't eat pork or haven't eaten pork, you know, in a while, I guess. I just thought that was interesting, just to come up with some type of virus like that. So it's going to affect a lot of vegetarians, a lot of people who don't eat pork, and I just think it's a shame that we're being targeted like that. I don't know, that's just my thought. I just wanted just to share that with you guys. Peace. Hey YouTube, you know who this is. I would like to do a video about women, thugs, music, and nerds. I think it's about time for a woman to speak on this subject. I want to start on the women first. I got me a little notepad here, so I just want to make sure I don't forget what I wanted to cover on this video. So just bear with me and be patient. The reason I'm doing the video about women, I want to start with them first, is because I know that there are some gold diggers out there. There are women that are very selfish and just out for one thing, and that's to get anything and everything they can as far as material. Don't really care about the men that they're with, and just very selfish. Some of these women can get it for themselves, but the attitude is, if I can get it for if I can get a man to get it, then why should I get it for myself? And it's somewhat disrespectful, you know, because by you being a gold digger, you're lying and you're deceiving these men out here. And this is not a topic about black and white. This is just a topic of just human beings acting dumb and stupid. I guess I just never understood why women go out their way to date certain men, which goes into my next topic, is thugs. You know, these thugs are making this money selling drugs, going in and out of jail to get with these gold digging type of women. Not all of them do, but some of them do. Some of these gold digging women are extremely beautiful. Some of them are very intelligent, but they don't contribute to the society the way that a regular person do. And here's the deal. For instance, if you're a drug dealer, you're not paying any taxes from selling drugs. You may have a full-time job and selling drugs on the side, but you're not paying taxes for selling drugs. So you're not contributing to society. The chances are you've been in jail, so you can't vote, so you're not contributing to society. These drug dealers get these cars all beefed up just to get these women that said they want a thug. And some of these women may go to school, may have a 9-to-5 job or whatnot. But I guess because there's so many women out there that is so materialistic, which I do say that, you know, they are gold diggers. You have these men that these boys that want to grow up to be thugs. And with the music part, you know, I'm noticing that these artists are putting these music out there to shine a light on, you know, what's going on in today's world. It's the song, the artist is Dream, and I think the name of the song is I Love Your Girl. For those of you guys who have not heard this song, I want to play the hook for you so you can listen to it, and then I want to touch on that as well. Now see, that song, the hook is saying, fuck that nigga. And that's, to me, that's more of a thuggish song, you know. But in the song, if you haven't heard it from the beginning to the end, I just wanted to play the hook because I know they play this song on the radio, but the hook, you don't hear that part. So I just wanted to play it for those who heard the song and thought it was cool, but just never heard of it. So anyway, the song goes like this. It's about this young lady at a club with her man. Her man had bought her a watch, and it's her birthday. But at the end of the song, it touches that it's her birthday. But the guy that she's trying to get with, which is not her man, is calling him a sucker because he realized that she just got a gift, which is a nice watch. Gold digger. And now she don't give a fuck about him because she got what the fuck she want. And she's disrespecting him, and dude that is like, hey, you need to go ahead, you need to go over there to your man, and she's saying, fuck that nigga. You see what I'm saying? So this is why, in my opinion, that, you know, some of these men, these boys, grow up to be men and want to be drugs because of women like this type of mentality. You know, it's songs like this that's being played, and if you really take the time to listen to the lyrics of some of these songs that's being played on the radio, it's very degrading. It's very degrading. And the only reason I got the CD is because a friend of mine, he does mix CDs in New York. His name is DJ Icy, and he sends me CDs every time he makes one. And when I heard the song, my mouth dropped. I didn't think too much of it, but when I heard it on the radio, I'm like, oh man. So that means these men is going to walk into the club with that mentality. You know what I mean? And it's just a shame. But it's like, ladies, do you blame them? I mean, do you blame these men to think the way they think? Because we will be the same women in the club dancing to it, say, oh, this is my song, this is that shit, fuck that nigga, you know, looking all stupid and ignorant and not really knowing what the fuck the song is about. It's degrading. And it's like, by you dancing to it, parading to it, turning up to it, bouncing your head to it, you're saying you that woman too. Are you? Are you really a gold digger? I mean, are you letting your teenagers listen to this? Are you letting your kids listen to this? You know, it's just so sad. And the next topic I would like to talk about is nerds. Nerds don't really get that much love in today's society. You don't hear songs about, you know, a man is reading a book and he's reciting poetry and he's trying to get with this woman. You don't hear this type of shit on the radio, you know. And it's like, if a man that dresses out nerdy come and talk to you, you may not even pay him that much mind when he call you to try to get to know you. You may not even answer the phone. You may even put his name, oh, this is the nerd, instead of what his name is, you know, because it's lack of respect. Why is it that thugs get more play than nerds? I just don't understand it. A thug don't take the time out to contribute to society. A thug don't take the time out to open up the book to read it unless he's in jail. And if he say he is, it might be comic books, you know. And it's like, they need love too. So why is it that we don't show the nerds any love? We're not interested in them. And these are the men that's contributing to our society. They're considered students. They consider, you know, our brothers or uncles that work part-time and into community, doing community work. But because there's so many stupid women out here that dictate what a black woman or a Chinese woman or a Latin woman wants, it's like they overpower a woman like me that don't want no thug, that don't listen to dumbass music like this, that's not a gold digger. And I'm going to say something, and you guys may not disagree, but I respect a prostitute more than I respect a gold digger, because at least a prostitute is not going to lie to you. A prostitute would tell you what it is, where a gold digger is not. She's lying to you. She's playing games. She's having you thinking that she's caught up in you, and then as soon as you buy her that Louis purse or take her to the BB store and take her on a shopping spree, then her whole attitude is going to change. It's just going to change. It's just not going to be, you know, it was in the beginning, and then it makes you question. So I just wanted to drop this video, and you guys tell me what you think. Hey YouTube, I'm on the road today. I'm doing 3 videos back to back to back. Anyway, I have a follow-up question to ask you guys, and this is going to be a short video. Why black people don't support black business? I haven't seen a video really discussing this as a question, but this is a question to all the YouTubers. Doesn't matter if you're black, white, Chinese, Mexican, please be totally honest of why black business don't survive. And I'm not talking about the black clubs. I mean, even though those are in a category as businesses, but I look at those more as an investment. But I'm just talking about real black business, like a hardware store, or, you know, just a corner store or a grocery store. Just anything that is black establishment. Why we don't support it? I know some restaurants are doing well, but it's a lot of them that just went under. So be brutally honest with all of us, because I have a feeling some people that see this video is going to come back just to read some of the comments to try to understand why black business don't do well. This past weekend, I went to Chinatown. I went to 2 Mexican grocery stores, big as hell, big like Walmart. And these are 2 Mexican, you know, grocery stores. And then I went to 3 American stores. So, and when I mean American stores, I'm talking about grocery stores. So, please, 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 be honest. Just be brutally honest, so someone like me and other people like me that would like to start their business can take that into accountability and maybe learn from your comments on what not to do if they start their own business, whether it's a black-owned business, a white-owned business, or a Latino-owned business. I just think it's important that I make this awareness video as a question/answer so you guys can tell the world, why black business don't survive here in America. What's wrong? Is it customer service? Is it that we're rude? Is it that we play rap music? Or is it that black people stand in front of the store? I mean, just be totally honest. What have you experienced when you walk into that black establishment? Be brutally honest, because that's the only way someone like me or, you know, other people will learn, like, oh, okay, well, I know not to do that if I have my own business. So do a video response or leave a comment, please. Peace. Hey YouTube, it's your girl Sexy Sci-Fi. I want to do this quick video to talk about welfare and drug testing. State of Kansas City is trying to pass a law where if you are a welfare recipient, then you will have to be tested for drug use, or risk losing your benefits. Tell me what you guys think. I don't know, I was just thinking, yeah, you know, if you're a crackhead and stuff, your drugs will go toward, your money will go towards drugs instead of, you know, taking care of your children while you're on welfare. Yeah, and people sell their food stamps in order to get that drug money. But I was thinking, like, in states that does not recognize marijuana as a medical need for those who have cancer or HIV, like for an example, Texas doesn't recognize marijuana use as medical. So if you get tested positive for smoking weed, that means you're at a risk of losing your welfare benefits. And I just think that's, like, in that aspect, it's not fair. I can understand, you know, being a heroin addict, smoke crack, using crystal, things like that. But I just think a lot of, you know, people will be out of luck if they smoke marijuana and get tested positive for drugs and lose their welfare benefits, especially if they're using it for medical use. I know if they're in the state of California, they're trying to pass that law statewide, so that wouldn't be an issue. But Kansas City is trying to really push this, and if they push it, then you have similar states that's going to try to do the same thing. So I'm just wondering, how do you guys, you know, feel about this? Do you think this is a good idea or not? And if you think it is a good idea, I also want you to consider that if you just smoke weed for medical use, do you still see it the same way? You know, especially if you don't belong in the state of California. I know some of you guys are going to say, well, you know, some people smoke it for enjoyment. That's true, but some people smoke it to calm their nerves. That could still be medical. You just never know. But I don't see nothing wrong with it except for that part, you know. But I'm pretty sure they're not going to specify what drugs will be okay. I just think if it's not the state law for, like, Texas, for you to smoke marijuana and not get in trouble, I think you'll get kicked off of welfare if they find any trace of that, you know, in your system. So, and also another point is it's going to cost the state more money to test people that are high, because I think this is for every recipient that's going to be on welfare. You have to be tested if this law passed. Just think of how much money is going to be put out there, you know, if this law passed. I mean, I don't know. I see both sides of it, but I don't think it's a good idea now that I think about it. But you guys tell me what you think, and hopefully maybe you guys can do some video response and go into more detail about it. Okay, thank you. Peace. Hey YouTube, it's your girl. I just had to drop this video. CNN had did a story of another shooting of a Louisiana man, 73-year-old, and I just want you guys to listen to the audio and tell me what you think.
73-year-old Bernard Monroe. 3 weeks ago, on February 20th, it was late afternoon. He was barbecuing for his family, their kids, and his grandkids. 2 white police officers pulled up to the house. They'd come to question Monroe's son, Sean. Sean has a long record of arrests and convictions, but he has no outstanding warrants, so it's unclear why police wanted to see him on that day. Witnesses say when Sean saw the officers, he ran into the house. One of the officers, who'd only been on the Homer police force for a few weeks, chased him inside. What happened next is murky at best. This woman, Denise Nicholson, Sean's sister-in-law, was there. She says 73-year-old Bernard Monroe walked toward the house to see what was going on.
So he had his hands, up like this right here. And so the police officer just turned around and just started shooting. Then after he done shot about 7 or 8 times, he gonna holler, he got a gun. Ain't nobody seen no gun yet.
Monroe had throat cancer, and it had destroyed his voice. The police department says Monroe was holding a loaded gun when he was shot. The officer who killed him is currently on paid leave. Witnesses that day tell a different story. They insist it was a sports drink bottle, and that after the shooting, the other police officer took a gun Monroe kept on his front porch and placed it near the dying man. I saw the officer pick up the gun off the porch. I said, "What are you doing?" The cop told me, "Shut the hell up. You don't know what you're talking about." As allegations of a police cover-up spread, tensions have only grown worse.
The only thing we're asking for is justice, and for the truth to be known.
3 investigations are underway. The FBI, the U.S. Department of Justice, and the Louisiana State Police are all involved. Law enforcement sources tell me there are a huge number of investigators from as far away as New Orleans and Lafayette. They're taking this investigation seriously.
It's a loss for the whole community. Everybody's lost,
Sean Caleb's, CNN.
I had to hurry up and do this video because this is on CNN video, but they only keep videos like this up for a few days, so I just didn't want to take any chance, and so I just had to drop this video. But it's one of the good things about this is that there was a lot of witness. The elderly man did not have a gun, and also the FBI is doing their investigation. I think the FBI is really looking closely at the state of Louisiana for the simple fact there has been so many police shootings against the citizens of Louisiana's that it's kind of bringing up red flags for civil rights being violated, for the blacks that lives in that state. It's very unfortunate, and it happens more often in Louisiana than some other states. I guess you guys noticed that lately I've been putting a lot of videos out like this exposing the pig. That's something that my great uncle called the police, Huey, because also he's from Louisiana too, and it's just it just seemed like there is no movement for this type of things, as far as the police gunning us behind our backs or shooting us when we have our hands up. There is another YouTuber, I don't know if you guys are familiar with him, but his name is The Real AIX, and just a few days ago he got tasered and his arm is all fucked up by the police because the police had asked him to to stop moving, but he saw the police reaching for her gun, so he got real nervous, and he decided just to take a few steps back with his arms out like this, and they end up tasing him, and 14 officers end up jumping on him, and now he's going to court. I'm going to put his video on the side link there so you guys can go ahead and check it out, so you can see how fucked up his arm is, and now he's fighting the case. But it's just a shame that we don't have any type of movement that we can really rely on to try to fight these cases. And in most cases like this, the officer is on leave with pay, and most times they come back and they still have their jobs. Also, when I heard about this story, which I noticed they didn't put it on the audio, a CNN reporter did an interview with the mayor of Harmo, Louisiana. I think that's the name of the city, and the mayor had even admit that, you know, there is a lot of police present in that one neighborhood where that 73-year-old man got shot. And what he said was, if the officer see 3 or more black men in a car or walking down the street, they will immediately pull them over and ask them where they going and all this stuff. So that's like racial profiling right there, you know. And when the CNN reporter has said, well, you know, isn't that racial profiling? The mayor admitted and said, well, yeah, it is, you know. But this is the chief of the police that even admit that, you know, racial profile goes on in the state of Louisiana. I think one of the main issues that we have as black people is that we are so afraid to, you know, when we're confronted with a police officer, we have this fear because we see all these images on the news and everything that, you know, if I reach for my back pocket to grab my wallet, I'm going to get shot and nothing happened. If you taser me and you're telling me to stop moving, but you're constantly tasering me, I might get shot. You know, so it's like any encounter that you may have with the police, there is a sense of fear with black people and the officer. It doesn't matter what race the officers are, you just know that this is a man with a uniform on, and most likely, you know, I may end up going to jail for resisting arrest, but I'm terrified because I see all these images of officers always hurting my people. And I just think that this issue needs to be addressed on a national level, you know. Maybe President Obama needs to get involved in this and have some type of task force that have meetings with these officers in major cities, you know, and retrain these officers, because it's a shame that a citizen, even such as myself, and I live in the suburbs, I don't live in the ghetto, but I know at times when I am pulled over by the police, I have knots in my stomach because of the experience that I have gone through living back at home in Oakland, you know. So it's just something that I think that needs to be addressed. But you guys tell me what you think about that story that I just put on this video. Peace out. Hi YouTube, it's your girl Sexy Sci-Fi. I would like to do a video talking about love versus unconditional love. This is a video response to Calliope Ward and also to Will. I've seen both of you guys' videos, which inspired me to drop this one. And first of all, let me say that I am very fortunate to be in love. I know love don't come every day, and some people will leave this earth without really experiencing love or unconditional love. So I just wanted to put it out there that I am very grateful, and I don't even take the love that I have in my life for granted. Will, you said some interesting things in your video, which I have gone through. My last relationship, my ex had told me that his woman had cheated on him, and I never been in a relationship, you know, where my ex, where my boyfriend at the time, you know, has been cheated on. So I asked a bunch of questions and everything, probing, you know, because I wanted to know what did he do for his woman to cheat on him. And of course, he didn't tell me the full story, but mainly it was because his insecurities. And his insecurities, I don't want to put it on blast, but just some insecurities. You guys just think outside the box. And I know some men and women go through these insecurities, which lead the other significant others to cheat. You know, confidence it's a big plus in any relationship. Even when you go in for a job interview, if you're confident and if you're talking like you own that job, you know, you have a 70-30 chance of getting that job. Where if you talk with no confidence, then you have a 10% chance of getting that job. And it's the same thing of keeping that person in the relationship happy. I know one of the keys of being in a happy, unconditional relationship is listen. Listen, listen, listen. I know as a woman, you know, I get emotional, and plus I'm a Gemini too, so, you know, at times you're dealing with two different personalities depending on how my day is going or whatnot. But one of the main things that I learned in my previous relationships is that I need to learn how to listen to my man and not always have an opinion when he has something to say. Just listen, you know. Also, one of the things that you can do to also work towards having an unconditional love is learn how to forgive. I mean, that's like a key right there, because I noticed that if you deal with the issue at hand and it's been resolved, then you don't bring it up. Really, that is ground for you and your significant other to grow to the next level. You know what I mean? And they feel that they could talk to you about anything. You know, with listening and learning how to forgive and don't bring it up. You know, those are like two strong foundations that anyone would need, not only being in an unconditional relationship, but just to be in a good, healthy relationship, period. You know, I know one of the main things that a lot of men complain about on YouTube is that, you know, especially black women, we don't want to listen, you know, and we have an attitude like we don't need no men in our lives and stuff like that, you know, and I know that's not the case. But ladies, I do know that we do need to learn how to listen. I know I had to learn how to listen. Another thing is be a person of, you know, your word. Your word is your bond. That goes for men and females. You know, if you say you're going to do something, you do it. If you can't, you know, do the courtesy thing and bring it up and let them know why you can't do it. Don't wait until that other individual bring it up. You know, that's very inconsiderate. And then it also questioned, you know, do this person really love me? Do this person really care for me? Because they say they're going to do something and they don't do it, you know. So if you can learn how to be yourself best friend, then you can also learn how to be a best friend in that relationship. That's another number one key. Learn how to love yourself and do for yourself. Because if you could do that, it's easy for you to give to that other person that you're in a relationship with. Being in love can be a beautiful thing, but it can also be very painful and hurtful, you know, especially when that other person is not on the same page as you, or you guys are heading in two different directions and stuff. So communication is always the key, you know, to be in a healthy, good, unconditional relationship. And also one of the things that I had to learn is that when you know, have a disagreement with your man or your woman, and if it never enters your mind, man, you know, maybe I need to break up with her or him because this shit is not working out. To me, you're not loving unconditional. You're not connected with that person in that way. Like, I had some disagreements or whatnot with my man, but it never crossed my mind like, oh, I need to end this relationship, or I'm having second thoughts, and, you know, I'm talking to him saying, you know, do you think we're going too fast or anything like that? That never, ever, ever entered my mind. And that's how I know that I'm loving unconditional on my part, you know. So I think that's very important too. So those are my tips on love. I'm no expert, trust me, I'm not. But these are the things that I have learned as far as love and love unconditional. And I hope that you guys, have the opportunity to experience it as well, because love can be a beautiful thing. I read some of the comments under Calio's Third War video that he did about love, and some people don't think love really exists, but I look at those individuals because they've been hurt. That's why they felt that way, or they've seen other people being hurt, and they're like, man, I don't want to go through that, so they shelter themselves from being loved. My message to you guys is, try to think outside the box, because maybe the way you was handling your previous relationship, maybe you need to change that up and do something different, like reinvent yourself in those relationships and see how those things work out for you. Because by you having those negative thoughts in your head and you taking the time out to put it in your commentary, those vibes and negative energy does follow you when you're trying to step to a young woman or, a young man, when you're trying to get to know someone, to try to get to, date them and get to know them, and if things happen, it happens. So you got to think positive and, just have high goals for yourself. Okay, so that's my take on love. Peace. What's up, YouTube? It's your girl. What's up with this flu bullshit that they're spreading all over the news, and they won't even tell you how the damn thing developed? They said that you can't catch it by eating pork, even though the name of the flu is swine flu. Go figure. So the only thing I could think of this flu end up becoming a flu is people having sex with animals. I mean, it's something to think about, because how this shit started. You can't catch it by eating pork. So it had to start with somebody having sex with a pig, probably a female, and the pig was sick and the female was sick, and that female started sneezing and it affected everybody else. I mean, I don't know, I'm no expert, I'm not no doctor, but I don't think they will ever break down how the shit really started. You know what I mean? But I think they know that it has something to do with humans having sex with animals. And it's just so weird. What I do, especially around flu season, when people sneeze around me, and I don't know if you guys do this, I count to 20. I hold my breath and count to 20. I was told that you're supposed to close your eyes too. I haven't done that part, but it seems to help me, because sometimes when you're out in public or you're standing in line, at Walmart or something to get service, people just they sneeze, and sometimes it happens unexpectedly, so when that happens, I hold my breath and I count to 20 and keep my hands clean. So I hope you guys are staying out of harm's way when it comes to this flu. Fortunately, it hasn't killed anyone here in United States, but it has been killing people in Mexico. So I don't know what the healthcare is out there, but it sounds like that may have a lot to do with it. Maybe they don't have enough medication to go around, and there's a lot of poor people in Mexico, so maybe they're charging them for the vaccine instead of just giving it to them for free to prevent it from spreading. I mean, who knows? But I just wanted to do this video and just see what you guys think. I think this flu virus started with people having sex with animals. So tell me what you think. Peace. Hey YouTube. You gonna answer that? Oh, okay.
And now a story that's sure to get a lot of comments from our listeners. For many women, advanced education is crucial to professional success, and marriage is an important part of a satisfying home life. But a study suggests that many black women must choose between one or the other. According to research recently presented to the American Sociological Society, African American women with advanced degrees are twice as likely to have never been married by the age of 45 as their white counterparts, and also twice as likely to be separated, divorced, or widowed. Joining us to talk about this is Hannah Bruckner. She's the co-director of the Center for Research on Inequalities and the Life course at Yale University and co-author of the research. Hannah, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
What drew you to this topic in the first place?
Well, we're interested in the life courses of women. So how do you kind of actually position family formation and career formation in a time when most women actually do have a work life and a family life? And we were especially interested in highly educated women, that is, women with advanced training, because if you, on top of a college degree, add a few years of graduate training and then a few years of establishing your career, you're running up against your biological clock, of course. But if you do it while you're in training, you're going to be a poor graduate student and also a poor parent. And so, there's good and bad that comes with that. And we were interested in how women strategize about this and whether there's change over time and how they actually do it.
Tell me, what did you find as the difference in the marriage rates between highly educated white women and highly educated African American women?
It used to be, if you look at people who were born in the 30s and 40s, that black women with advanced degrees were actually more likely to get married than white women. But then you see a change, and now black highly educated women are much less likely to be married at the age of 45 than white women that were born during approximately the same time.
I know you got this from numbers, but do you have any sense of why these highly educated black women are having trouble, or I guess not having trouble, just simply aren't getting married?
What we see among all women, not only the highly educated, is that black women are very unlikely to be married outside their group.
When you say group, you mean their race?
Right. So if they don't marry white men, for example, with higher education, and there aren't enough black men with higher education around, they have to find mates with fewer education. But there's also competition for these men from women with college degrees or without college degrees.
So in other words, the highly educated black men are more willing to marry outside of the race than the highly educated black women.
Black men are more likely to marry outside of their race, and black women are more likely to marry outside of their education.
You were quoted in an MSNBC article about your work as saying that educated black women having fewer children is a danger to the black middle class, so because the advantages of education aren't passed down to the next generation.
Yes.
Why do you think that?
It kind of sounds like as if I was blaming black women that, they don't contribute to the reproduction of the black middle class. That's really not what we were trying to say. What we're trying to say is that black women face what you would call it a double jeopardy. They face difficulties in the labor market because of racial discrimination, and they face difficulties in the marriage market because of the imbalanced gender ratio, and the fact that there's very, very little interracial marriage, especially where black women are concerned. Now, we can't say whether these are choices that black women are making or not. What we can say is that their choices are severely limited by the demographic structure in the population.
Having done this with numbers, do you have plans to do a different kind of study to get some idea as to why you're coming up with numbers like this?
Yes. We are hoping to soon submit a research grant where we do much more qualitative work to learn more about this.
Hannah Bruckner is a professor of sociology and the co-director of the Center for Research on Inequalities and the Life course at Yale University. She joined us from Yale Studios. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, YouTube. Tell me what you think about that piece. Peace. Hey, YouTube. It's your girl. I hope everything is going well with you. This is my part 2 to the video that I did about cops killing people and how the laws and stuff need to change. I have another story to bring to your attention that is on CNN.com /videos, but I'm going to go ahead and play the audio so you can go ahead and listen to it. And it's not that long, so bear with me.
The way Robbie Tolan's family describes it, he and his cousin were just walking up to their home after a late-night meal. So why is Tolan now hospitalized? A police officer's bullet lodged in his liver. It's a question sparking allegations of racism in this mostly white Houston suburb of Bel Air.
He was a victim of the worst case and the worst kind of racial profiling.
Tolan is the son of former Major League Baseball player Bobby Tolan. The 23-year-old spent a year playing with the Washington Nationals minor league team and recently played with the Bay Area Toros. Tolan's cousin says they had no idea the two men approaching them that night were cops.
We did not know it was a police officer. We just thought, who is this guy with his gun and his flashlight?
According to police, the officers thought the SUV the pair had just gotten out of was stolen. Relatives say Tolan's parents heard the commotion and came outside. Police acknowledge an altercation took place. Relatives say it involved his mother.
The cop, they said, pushed her against the wall, and her son was on his back at the time, and he raised up and asked, "What are you doing to my mom?" And the officer shot him while he was on the ground.
The car belongs to the Tolans. It wasn't stolen. Police say Robbie Tolan and his cousin were unarmed. As for the officer who shot him, he is white, a 10-year veteran with an excellent record. Police say they're looking into what happened, but deny any kind of racial profiling.
Any time that someone is injured, we take it very seriously, and but as far as any allegations of racial profiling, I'd probably say that that's not really going to float.
Robbie Tolan sits in a Houston hospital bed, and this son of a once prominent Major League Baseball player finds his own aspiring baseball career in jeopardy.
I'm not concerned about his career right now as a baseball player. I'm concerned about my son's health.
Okay, well, I just wanted to shed light on that story there, because here it is, another cop shooting someone, and this person is hospitalized and just probably don't have the future that he normally would have if this shit didn't happen. Also, I would like to say thank you to Bond One Bond. He sent me a personal email with some information regarding the Oakland BART police thing that's going on with Oscar Grant. I'm going to put all the information on the sidebar so you guys can go ahead and write this information down. There's numbers and websites where we can, as citizens all over the country, can make phone calls or send emails or write letters of our complaints and just how we feel about the situation that happened to Oscar Grant. Also, I know I was really emotional in my last video, but the reason is because I'm from Oakland, and I used to be harassed by this white officer. He pulled me over 3 separate times, and it just brought back all the memories, from that officer harassing me, kept fucking with me and shit. And also I have protested the Rodney King verdict and got arrested for that. And even when I lived in LA, I witnessed so much police brutality and police just abusing their authorities, and I'm so sick of it. I really am. And for this to happen almost every single day, but these stories are not being televised by the news media, it just really hurts my soul. I hate when I get that emotional to the point where I'm just angry, and that's how I felt. I was truly angry because I have a brother that would be 20 on the 19th of this month. That's my baby brother. And then I have my oldest brother that is 38, and they both out there in Oakland. So it could have happened to either one of them, because that's where I'm from. I'm from Oakland, and it's just unfortunate that it keep happening across the country to these citizens, So I'm going to go ahead and make my phone calls and, go to those websites and, do some letters and try to get as many people as I can to sign it and present it as a petition. And I'm going to go ahead and I think I'm going to send it to the governor and maybe to some other government officials in the state of California, just in case the governor don't want to, have anything to do with it. I just want to make sure that that letter that I'm going to do is spread evenly with these officials. So I hope you guys, try to do something, from where you at with the information that I'm going to provide. And if you have any other information, if you want to go ahead and shoot me an email with that, I can go ahead and share that information with YouTubers and do it as a video format like I'm doing now. So just peace and blessings.